The snow continues to fall and even accumulates, seemingly unaffected by the loop. The amount of snow is so grand that people have to come out and start shoveling. And for a while, people joke about how wild it is for there to be this much snow on Halloween. But Alani and Sherry can feel it. This snow is connected to the upcoming holiday. Neither girl has ever known a year where it didn't snow around this time. Alani recalls the story of Christmas Day. A man named Reemerarius, who was a prophet and priest, said he felt called to the grand altar of the world. Not having any money, he simply began to walk there. Barely stopping for handouts, he wore down his shoes to the point they fell off of him, and yet he kept walking. He walked through heat waves and treacherous storms, and when he finally arrived, he collapsed at the altar. In his dreams, he saw one of the old gods. She walked up to him, gold and flowing around him like a fine silk, and told him to take word to the world that new gods were finally being born. With a kiss upon his forehead, he knew all he needed to say. Upon waking, he calmed the people who had gathered to check him. He made his way to the top of the grand altar steps and started to preach. He preached until he finally collapsed again, not to rise a second time, only to be buried in the falling snow. His soul would see its way to the high places, and the gods would greet him as last of the old gods, herald of the new. When Christmas Day finally occurs, it is very quiet. For the past couple of months, the girls have heard the same conversations day after day after day. But today, no one is talking about Halloween. All the calendars all say it's still Halloween. But the Halloween decorations are overwhelmed with Christmas ones. The music being played over the store speakers is Christmas themed. People are silently, with the exception of the squeaky wheels of their carts, buying ingredients that would not make sense for Halloween, but would make sense for a Christmas dinner. No one is speaking. It's as though there's a collective fear that it will only take one person saying the wrong thing for this merry retreat from pumpkins and candy buckets to shatter like fine glass. The girls walk as quietly as the rest. Within the store, there's an aisle that sells goods themed for the current holiday. The girls, holding their breaths, go down the aisle, and right before their eyes, it's as though something in the back is pulling the Halloween supplies and pushing forward the Christmas ones. A sense of relief washes over the girls. If there are spirits to holidays, maybe all that was needed was a stronger holiday spirit. On their way out, batting away golden strips of fabric hanging in the exit that weren't there when they came in, they heard someone finally say it. Merry Christmas. The air chills, and when Sherry, completely caught off guard, missing the person who spoke, asked the person behind them if he heard that too, the man falls into a trance and starts talking about having just bought Halloween candy. The supplies in his bag morphing from Christmas to Halloween goods. Suddenly, the people coming through the door start to argue, shoving their bought goods and wares in each other's faces, yelling whether it's Halloween or Christmas. The girls make clear of the entryway as the customers coming and going erupt into an all-out riot. Yet somehow, over all the arguing, Alani and Sherry can hear it. Music coming from up the street. People begin pouring out of the buildings, cheering and shouting, clapping and stomping, practically vibrating the very air itself, causing the snow to avalanche off of nearby roofs. Up the road comes the first of the Christmas balls. For a moment, the girls are stunned. Did Christmas break through Halloween and shatter the loop? They look around, and not one Halloween ornament can be seen. The people are singing now, hands clasped so tightly that someone will surely find cracks in their bones in the morning. The parade starts with drummers. Next come the baton twirlers. The third group is the marching band. All of them look ethereal, the snow passing through their ghostly forms. The floats honk in a pattern, forming a melody the townsfolk recognize well enough to sing along to. At the back of the parade are the giant balloons, followed by a final marching band. Both Sherry and Alani start to believe the loop is over. Foolishly so, for down the opposite end of the road is a scream. It's blood-curdling and wet, it's grumbling, it's snorting. Most of the people seem to be in a trance, looking at the floats coming up the street. But the girls turn to see, running down the opposite direction, the slime monster. It charges head first through the spirits on foot and into the car of the first float, causing it to flip backwards at an angle and explode on top of one of the other floats behind it. That's what it took for the onlookers to snap out of the delusions and start screaming. The slime monster finds itself surrounded by the foot members of the parade. They swarm the beast in retaliation the same way the Thanksgiving parade did. For a while, the Christmas parade seems to be winning. They rip and tear at the monster. It screams and bites and slashes. All the townsfolk have ran off to safety, but the girls remain, wanting to see it to the end. When the giant balloon of dear Reemerarius comes stomping up the road to give the final blow, as though waiting for this very moment, the slime monster dodges, crawling up the arm of the balloon, poking holes as it goes. It gives one well-placed slash to the balloon's neck, and dear Reemerarius explodes into a fine, shimmering dust. This blow seems to rattle the confidence of the parade, and even though they stand their ground, being picked off one after the next, by the end of the night, Main Street is nothing more than an empty road dusted in a fine golden powder. Alani and Sherry had hidden away earlier when dear Reemerarius was vanquished. When they peek out of their hiding spot, they see the monster eating the dust, breathing it in like a vacuum. As the girls flee the scene, the last of the Christmas decor fades and, returning to its now usual position, is replaced with Halloween odds and ends. The snow begins to melt, and it is still Halloween.